Hello again, my people. Skywalker shining from the dark once more. This is a most controversial topic. It is bitter pill to take. But if you hate me for it today, tomorrow you will love me. It is one of those types of showing of love. I notice on the news a lot of people talking about Elon Musk and racist comments and stuff like that. And I saw some of the things he was either saying or endorsing, and I didn't like it. So I looked into myself and then I thought about it and I discovered, guess what? I am accidentally racist too. Not hateful, not prejudicial, but accidentally racist. And no one will ever draw the line. No one will ever agree and show me where the difference is. No one will ever exonerate me because there is a conventional order of disingenuity. And I want you to think about it. Life can be ugly and we can make it beautiful too. We take the bitter with the sweet and we make it something better. Life does not work if you entertain a shallow minded stance, like a one dimensional mindset of sorts. Don't do that to yourself. You must agree to do the hard work instead of expecting others to pull you up or to hand some to you. And if someone ever grabs a hold of yours, you will have to take it back because he begrudges you. That's life. Everyone wants to be one up. Seems like many of us have been accidentally racist for many years. Or should we say we are naturally so? We all know what race means, but when you look at the definition of racism, you cringe. But you don't see how disingenuous it is. I mean, black people don't see how disingenuous it is because the white man sees it. It is a mind twister to set you up for impossible conceptions of integration so you will live in a fantasy land. The definition of the word racism will be discriminatory in itself. How can you be racist by having your priorities set to your own particular race? Like, I mean, are we all familyist? Explain how it fits the universal equation of as above, so below. For all things must be made in balance. Now, if someone is saying, or even the case of Elon Musk, bad things about the race, it's his own mindset. It's not necessarily what he believes, but it's his own competitive human mindset, right? We have rules and laws and modus operandi, and as long as we go along with that, then fear is fear. We will have to go to the mediator all the while, which is the rules and the laws to make sure that it's even. But what we call even sometimes is actually that which is not balanced, not right for the same person we ridicule. And I will get into that. Sometimes the way we define words prove that much of the problems the humans have are those negatives that affect mankind come with the very solutions prescribed and enforced to us. Why do we define racist like we define hate? You only have to be racist to be evil. By that, we discount much of our human tendencies. Barcelona supporters will always speak negative about Inter Milan fans and Inter Milan players. But the game is supposed to be fair when they play is underway. The teams are not there to integrate. I mean, the same person who coined the word integrate also coined the word race. What is a race? I watched Usain Bolt run for Jamaica, and when he won a race, he was not obliged. He was not obliged to share the points with America. It told me that in a race, you have defined borders and priorities. Does that mean hate? Is being aligned to who you are as a priority hate? No, it is definitely not. I saw how Jamaicans adored Alison Felix off the pitch after she just went and busted their ass, and I understood that there was no hate, just competition. There are priorities and there will also be competition, are the right word in the biggest race here is rivalry. Sometimes what you make the rhetoric is probably helpful to you in your position. What people believe of me and what people believe of you can be used as advantages. Okay? So if there's a competition, sometimes it gets dirty. The black populations work to integrate, or they are induced to a sense of integration. They are induced to believing in integration when the rest of the world has priorities and prioritize their own. You understand what I'm saying? The rest of the world has priorities and prioritize their own. Priorities do not integrate. Priorities do not integrate. Listen, please listen. Priorities do not integrate, for there is no mathematical way for it to integrate. We must come to the real world and make our presence known. The Indians are presently doing it in India today. What of Africa? I am in a country with my own people, but I would build a fence around my family home anyway. Priority cannot integrate. I love my people though. My priority is towards my family. We are living in a European paradigm over here. Unfortunately, the white race and others show what almost seems like a natural inclination to hate. I only say this because it is true. And I don't say it because of hate or bias. The white race and other races show what almost seems like a natural inclination to hate anyone that is not their own. Do I agree with that? No, I don't. Hate and prejudice are not the same as racism. You know why? Because they are not the same as race, and the word racism derives from the word race. I don't know if you see that. Look, it is not hateism, it is not prejudicism, it is not antagonismism, it's racism. So it's derived from the word race. Neither are they the same as discrimination, right? The word race and the word discrimination are not the same. If I give my family member the right to enter my property, even if I was not there to give permission, but I would never do this for others, it is not discrimination. Well, it is. But should we call it familyism, or is it a bad thing? Like by me deciding that I would rather date someone of my own race, that is racist, right? So, where do we draw the line on what is racist or what is hate? Where do we draw the line on what is racist or what is hate, or what are our rightful priorities? Or do we have to opt out, or do we have to opt for integration? because I think that's where the problem is. Do we have to opt for integration? I don't think so. Maybe we have to call hate only when it legitimately fits the bill, and do the same for racism too. Get rid of some of those superficial parts and make life simpler. I see this thing in America all the time that I don't like. We have too much dependency in a mixed country. I am not saying that the following is right to do, but I want you to understand that your reaction to it is way more important than what it is. It has to be one of empowerment. I mean, your reaction has to be one of empowerment instead of one of bickering and dependency. It carries you nowhere. If you think that they really hate you, why are you trying to appeal to their consciences? Why don't you make sure to not have to depend on them? If you go to a white neighborhood and they don't want you in their food store, I don't care if it is McDonald's or KFC, which are not owned by black people. Why is the reaction to bicker and call down the law to force them to feed you? Where are your own stores? You have to take the concept of self sufficiency serious. When you stop bickering about racism and start to focus on self empowerment, the problem of racism will be not much of a problem to you. You cannot always be in a docile subject feminine mode. That even now that I speak from a stance of alpha, you feel irritated by me. When you are among your own, you do the right thing just to prove yourself among each other. Isn't that a bias too then? What of your competitive spirit out there in the wider world? You want to be integrated. You only want to be integrated even if you claim otherwise. Hate and prejudice is the burning of Black Wall Street, but you don't consider that once more it has to rise. You consider that they are racist and they don't want you in their store to eat food. Hmm? Consider Black Wall Street that it has to rise. When a Chinese person comes to America, he would rather find a Chinese food store. He is not trying to integrate, he is trying to coexist. But I don't know, I really don't know if you are seeing the difference here. There are only a few black enclaves of people that are not confused with the concept of integration. You coexist, brother. You coexist. You do not integrate. In Integration is a scam. Can't you see that? When I am in America, I am looking for a Jamaican food store unless one is not available. If one is not, I try to find alternatives. But I don't like to eat from people that don't like me. For what I have always admired, I mean, I have always admired the Chinese and the Japanese. But how many of you will think they are racist for how they choose to live? How many of you will think they are racist because of the culture they chose? Racism serves a purpose. Racism serves a purpose. But in a race, you are most highly spoken of if you are competitive. In a race, like Shakari was badly spoken of until she won. Hmm? You are highly spoken of if you are competitive in a race. The only race the black world wants to be competitive in is the Olympics. The Olympics. And by the way, case in point, you are highly spoken of in the Olympics. So there, the point is proven. Then you go back home and insist to go where you are not wanted. You go back home and you insist to go where you are not wanted, but you have no time to focus on your own food store or building Black Wall Street. We coexist, not integrate, brother. And we depend on rule of law to split the difference. You understand what I'm saying? We depend on rule of law to split the difference between people that have their different priorities. It's just like on the football pitch, just like on the track. As a child, decades ago, even before the rise of China, I remember the way the name Japan was spoken, the hateful slurs from the white man that called their names, that hateful slur. I said that if you are competitive in a race, then your name is spoken with respect. You got it? The god Zeus of Ethiopia. The god Zeus of Ethiopia. The god Zeus of Ethiopia is still worshipped by the Greeks. That tells of a great respect eons of time ago. Eons of time ago. And even all the gods and deities today, including the Ashanti or Buddha or Confucius, possibly from the Gahadagmi tribe known as Confucius, the master behind the name Kung Fu, Tutu, who is known as Tut or Hermes, or I can go on and on, citing the evidence of a great ancient respect, and Ethiopia was the place or the resting place where the gods hang out. That was the past though. This is the future. Japan in Hiroshima did not bicker and appeal to their consciences. Japan decided to build their own. And don't believe that the Chinese had it easy either. Did they seem like they wanted integration to you? They wanted their own power and autonomy. You want to be respected and to share with every race. This is unrealistic and it might be so until God comes, as you often put it, which will not happen. For God is present. If you did see him, if you did see him, if you did see him, you would be in a better place. Shakari Richards did not concentrate all day on what people said about her. She concentrated on showing them at the game. All you need is fair play. That's all. Now you can play. We have a race and we have defined rules and laws to keep each other at bay. Why must racism include the meaning of antagonism? Isn't that separate, like falling in the category of hate? Why do you be the one that always get caught by sharp words, sharp designs, and sharp suggestions? Don't you see that this is about an integration mindset that traps you in a fantasy while others go about with their lives knowing their priorities, knowing what their priorities are? You have Black Wall Street to build, but you are obsessed with a post from a competitor or their coach. Their coach did not feed your runner before the race. This will never make sense to me. If you are so limited that you cannot see beyond the conventional trap, then you will be a slave. Black people are the only ones that are truly trapped in the false sense of reality. Jamaica is near 90% black. It would not sit well for another race to come and build businesses stating no blacks allowed or such the likes. I get that. Jamaican a Jamaican black person would not think to go to Switzerland and do that. But in America it is different with all the number of people are racist. If you find yourself in a place where a racist person does not want you, but it's privately owned, you can always concentrate more on how you can do for yourself instead of how devilish this person is, which in the end will not even help you. Using your energy to do your own good. Using your energy to do your own good is what is positive. Now, if you are in a public place and someone is antagonistic or threatening, that is not racism. If you are in a public place and someone is antagonistic or threatening, it is not racism. It is hate. Maybe race hate, but not racism. To be accurate, it has to define the difference. You have to define the difference. You have a right to be where you have a right to be. You have a right to be in many places, but not all places do you have to be or even want to be. Forget about all that reeks of integration. You do not want to be integrated. You want to be centralized and organized, and you want to do for yourself. Now, in the scheme of it all, we all must coexist on this earth. That does not mean that racism isn't a natural thing. Priorities are defined in and as who you are. You are not white, and your children will not be white. That is why the white man the white man's conspiracy is not for your good. And yes, he will conspire, right? Shakari Richardson conspires, and Shelley and Fraser conspires. The white man conspires, and the Chinaman conspires, and they conspire to build their own and to exclude you. No, you do not conspire, you integrate, and this is not going to help you. Conspiracy is the modus operandi of our natural universe. Conspiracy is the modus operandi of our natural universe. Conspiracy is the modus operandi of our natural universe. You cannot see the difference, but the white man does, and all the other races do. That is the difference between you and others. White folks say lots of things about black people that are insulting. Me, I really don't care. I know the truth. Why are we bickering and not moving? Why are we bickering and not moving forward? By the way, peace out.